I would like to welcome all of you today to our press conference. I am Tom Neal, the pastor of Berean Baptist Church. Amen. Today I want to update you concerning the investigation into the recent allegations of video voyeurism at Berean Baptist Church. These allegations resulted in an investigation conducted by the Clay County Sheriff's Office and an announcement by the State Attorney's Office that the evidence of guilt was overwhelming. We strongly disagree with that finding. My son has always maintained that he had nothing to do with the videotape. Throughout this difficult time, my son has always maintained that he is innocent of these allegations. I believe my son. This congregation of people here believe my son. In order to prove his innocence, Greg voluntarily submitted himself to a polygraph examination. And at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. George P. Matherson, the polygraph examiner.
Good morning. I administered a polygraph examination to Greg, and prior to that, his attorney and I discussed the questions that we thought were relevant to the allegations made against him. He underwent a 2-hour polygraph examination in which his answers to the questions relevant to this case were non-deceptive, and it's my professional opinion that he is telling the truth regarding those questions.
At this time now, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Greg Neal.
Good morning. I am Greg Neal, and I'm the co-pastor of Berean Baptist Church. I categorically state that I am innocent of the allegations of video voyeurism. I do not deny that there is a tape. There apparently is. I do deny that I was aware that such a videotape existed or that I saw it before it was released by the Clay County Sheriff's Office. I have no knowledge of how the tape was made or by whom the tape was made. I have not spoken out before now because we were told that the Clay County Sheriff's Office did not want us making any statements until their investigation was concluded, as it may interfere with their investigation. I, of course, welcomed a fair and complete investigation, therefore I cooperated. Upon conclusion of the investigation, it was clear to me, however, that it was not fair nor complete. Therefore, we immediately asked our attorney to obtain what evidence the state's attorney's office said was overwhelming. We just received that information late yesterday afternoon. I have in my hand what they say is their overwhelming evidence. A quick review of the information reveals nothing substantiating my guilt of the charges. Apparently, the only evidence is the recording, which I had no knowledge of. The recording is not even an original recording and is apparently in digital format, not tape. There is no evidence of who made the recording or on what type of device it was made, nor to my knowledge has an original recording ever been produced. Most telling is no explanation for the movement of the camera when I was seated at my desk. The recording itself proves that I did not make the recording. Some stations have not shown the entire video. I don't know why. I know First Coast News did, and you can clearly see the camera movement. I have fully cooperated with investigating officials. I have not discussed this case with the Clay County Sheriff's Office because my attorney informed them that I would not talk to them until they were ready to make a presentation of evidence or charges. They chose not to talk to me. Since these malicious allegations were made, my family and the congregation of Berean Baptist Church have suffered. Many members have left the church. Many students of the academy have left. Damage has been inflicted to our credibility within the community. These allegations and malicious attacks have financially crippled Berean Baptist Church. As a result of these allegations, we have been unable to complete our Chapter 11 reorganization. However, we have entered into an agreement with our lender and will continue to occupy the church property. A joint press release from Berean and its lender will be issued tomorrow. I directly want to say to my accusers, first of all, I forgive you. And despite your efforts, the church will go on. Berean Baptist Church will remain active in our community and in our many, many missions efforts, spreading the gospel and helping the needy. Amen. Thank you. Amen. Amen.
Throughout this investigation, we have not commented. However, for a moment, I would like to directly address my son's accusers also. As a parent, this has been very painful for me to silently watch my son endure. To you who have accused Greg of wrongdoing, who have slandered his good name and the good standing of Berean Baptist Church, your goal was clear. Through your malicious slander, your harassment, and through your false allegations of video voyeurism, you set out to destroy this church. This has been hurtful, not just to him, but to the many hundreds of members of our congregation. Despite your efforts, Greg is respected in this community. He has been named by the Florida Times Union as one of the Jacksonville difference makers. He makes a difference in this community. He established the Amanda Foundation, an institution which assists children with terminal conditions and their families. He hosts an annual Christmas dinner at Wilson's Hospital and is a respected grief counselor and multi-book author. Your accusations have hurt your former church family, and the slander that you continue to participate in not only hurts the church, but the community it serves. You should be ashamed. Since we have just received the evidence, which the state attorney's office said was overwhelming, we are unable to personally take questions at this time. But once we have had the opportunity to review the evidence, we will hold a candid press conference within the next week to discuss the evidence and to answer your questions. At this time, however, Mr. Matheson will be happy to answer questions regarding the polygraph examination. You've been provided a copy of the package you received when you arrived. Mr. Matheson.
Did you ever address the sheriff's office and ask them any questions as to what questions you should have been asking in this polygraph?
No, I did not.
Why?
Well, they were receiving the police report, and anything that was to be covered in that, we would consider the police report.
Was the polygraph submitted to the sheriff's office?
No. The sheriff's office has closed their investigation. They forwarded it to the state attorney's office. So I did check with the sheriff's office to make sure that there was no conflict in administering the polygraph. And they said that they did not have a dog in the fight at this time to go ahead with the polygraph.
I know we have your resume, but can you just on camera explain to us some of your background?
I've been a polygraphist for more than 30 years in the state of Florida. I've polygraphed for one of the largest police departments in the state of Florida. I've worked in the private sector for a number of different companies, and I currently own and operate my own polygraph service and still continue to polygraph for several police departments in North Florida.
Do you know any members of this church prior to?
Absolutely not one. No, the only person that I had known over the years was Mr. Fuller, and he's the one that contacted me to see if I was interested in administering the test. I'm not a member of the church, and I don't believe I know any of the parishioners in the church.
What sort of indications gave you the idea that Mr. Neal was not deceptive in lying?
Well, you can't just say one indication. You have to, when you do a polygraph examination, you have to take a global approach to evaluating the charts. I used several different methods to evaluate the charts, whether there was significant responses indicated or not. I used an algorithm within the computer itself. I have the most sophisticated software that you can buy. I also numerically scored the the charts myself and basically reached the same conclusion as the software and the polygraph did, that there were no significant responses indicated within the relevant questions.
Have you given a polygraph test before where someone has failed it or been deceptive?
Many. Yes. Anything else? Thank you. Yes, sir.
What is the degree of accuracy of a polygraph?
Well, when you give polygraph examinations, you have to keep in mind that there's a number of different testing formats that you can use. For this particular case, I used what we call a zone comparison test, and that is considered to have the highest degree of accuracy among the different types of polygraph tests out there. It can run up anywhere upward of 95% as far as being accurate, and the little bit that's left over, the 5 or 6%, is inconclusive results or false positive or false negatives. But in Mr. Neal's case, I did 2 series of charts, and just to back myself up to make sure that I didn't miss something in the first series of charts, and they were all came to the same conclusion. Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of you for coming today, and we will be announcing our next press conference and hope that you'll attend. Thank you very much.